Today, we will be discussing all about Pearsall constructs. Kelly's Pearsall construct theory is made up of one basic postulate and 11 supporting corollaries. This philosophy assumes that people's interpretation of a unified, ever-changing world makes up their reality. All people continually create their own view of the world. Some people are quite inflexible and seldom change their way of seeing things. They cling to their view of reality even as the world changes. For example, people with anorexia nervosa continue to see themselves as fat, while their weight continues to drop to a life-threatening level. Some people interpret a world that is substantially different from the world of other people. For example, psychotic patients in mental hospitals may talk to people whom no one else can see. A personal construct is one's way of seeing how things are like and yet different from other things. For example, you may see how Ashley and Brenda are alike and how they are different from Carol. Comparison and contrast must occur within the same context. For example, to say that Ashley and Brenda are attractive and Carol is religious would not constitute a personal construct, as attractiveness and religiosity are not within the same dimension. A construct would be formed if you see Ashley and Brenda are attractive and Carol is attractive. Both the comparison and contrast are essential. All people attempt to validate the constructs. They look for better fitting templates and thus try to improve their personal constructs. However, personal improvement is not inevitable because the investment people make in their established constructs block the path to forward development. The world is constantly changing, so what is accurate at one time may not be accurate at another. Just how standards of beauty and religiosity change over time. Basic postulate. The basic postulate assumes that a person's processes are psychologically channelized by the ways in which that person anticipates events. In other words, people's behaviors are directed by the way they see the future. Kelly was not concerned here with animals, with society, or with any part or function of the person. He did not recognize motives, needs, drives, or instincts as forces underlying motivation. Life itself accounts for one's movement. Kelly chose the term channelized to suggest that people move with a direction through a network of pathways or channels. The network, however, is flexible, both facilitating and restricting people's range of action. In addition, the term avoids the implication that some sort of energy is being transformed into action. People are already in movement, they merely channelize or direct their processes towards some end or purpose. The phrase, ways of anticipating events, suggests that people guide their actions according to their predictions of the future. Neither the past nor the future, per se, determines our behavior. Rather, our present view of the future shapes our actions. Kelly said that people are tantalized not by their past but their view of the future. People continuously reach out to the future through the window of the present. 11 supporting corollaries. Here are the following corollaries. Construction corollary claims that a person anticipates events by construing their applications, meaning you conservatively construct anticipation based on past experiences. Individuality corollary proposes that persons differ from each other in their construction of events. As everyone's experience is different, their constructs are different. Organizational corollary claims that people evolve their constructs, and that the constructs are connected to one another in hierarchies and network of relationships. The dichotomy corollary proposes that we store experiences as constructs and then look at the world through them. Choice corollary suggests that we can choose to gain new experiences to expand our constructs, or stay in the same but limiting zone of our current constructs. The range corollary claims that constructs are useful only in a limited range of situations. Some ranges are broad, while other ranges are narrow. The modulation corollary means that construct ranges can be modulated to adapt to new ideas. However, some constructs of people are impermeable or cannot be anymore changed. Fragmentation corollary suggests that many of our constructs conflict with one another. Our use of such constructs may be dictated by different contexts and roles. Commonality corollary claims that many of our experiences are similar and/or shared, leading to similarity of constructs with others. Discussing constructs with others also helps to build shared constructs. Sociality corollary proposes that we interact with others through understanding of their constructs. As people say it, putting ourselves in their shoes. And that ends our discussion on personal constructs.
created using Powtoon.